So, Tim, how did you get involved with this film? Because it's really great, and you got a lot of cool people in there. You got Jason Patric, and you got Orlando Jones,
Yeah.
and it's just a fantastic film. So, how did this all come about?
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate you saying it's fantastic, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to talking to you. So it's good to talk to you. You know, the movie got sent to me from Chad Law a couple years ago, and I didn't really look at it. And then I was looking for something to collaborate with Natalie Burns on, and she resent it and said, "Hey, you've got to read this." And you know, from the moment I read it, I thought it was really cool. It was a great idea, and I felt like, look, if we added a little bit of comedy to this, and we kind of rode the genres a little bit and made it feel like a 1990s rom-com, that it would be a blast.
Yeah, and you know what? I got that a lot, and I got vibes from like Ready or Not mixed in with like a spy comedy thriller in this as well. Like
Yeah.
not so much straightforward comedy, more of a dark comedy, but it was really good, and I think a lot of people will end up loving this. And it's also getting played in theaters too, so that has to be a great feeling as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think anytime you're making a movie in the indie film space, and you know, in general, if you get that opportunity to have a theatrical run where people can go out to the theater and see it, that's great. You know, we're not getting a big, 2,000 screen release. We're getting hundreds of screens, but that alone is very, cool, and it's exciting that people will get to see the movie how we had it made. And yeah, the comparison to Ready or Not's been made, and other movies. We just went out and we just like literally tried to have a blast making a fun movie with an interesting concept, and hopefully it showed on the screen.
Right. And the casting process, like we mentioned, you got Jason Patric, Orlando Jones. How did they come on board?
Well, I'd worked with Jason previously on Gangsterland, and when we were doing this, as you know, the movie jumps from two different places. It's
Right. Yeah.
two different stories. So we needed an actor who was like really, really solid and who could really deliver. And Jason's that guy. So I called him. You know, we had tried to talk to his agent, and there was a little bit of push and pull trying to get him. And then, I picked up the phone and texted him and said, look, I really would like for you to do this. And, here we go. So that's how that came about. Orlando, he actually has some Carolina background.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was based in Wilmington, North Carolina. He went to school in South Carolina, same as me. And I knew him through this lady, Karen, who is, just an amazing person and was always champion my career. That's his manager. And so I called her and said, listen, I've got this cool part. I think Orlando Jones would be for it. But here's the thing. It's going to shoot. The shoot got moved up. So it's going to shoot tomorrow instead of next week. Can he do it? And I'm not even kidding. Orlando literally read the part within 1 hour, said, I'm going to be on a plane tonight and I'll be ready to shoot at 7 o'clock in the morning. And so that's the kind of dedication he had to it. So that was really cool.
And of course, the main actress in this is her name, Natalie.
Yeah.
Natalie. Wow, what a fantastic performance by her. She was really badass in this. So what were some of her stunt work like in here?
Yeah. So she is a former ballerina who trains in martial arts and does stuff. So one of the cool things about this project, and even when I was looking in it, is that we really can push it with doing the stunts and can push it with doing the action. And so she was able to do stuff like, there's like a bookcase, and she's like, well, I can backflip off of this bookcase and go over his head. Like, really? You don't see that all the time. So it allowed us to shoot her really wide and back up. And so you could see that it's her doing everything and doing all of her kicks, doing all the punches, doing everything. So, it allowed us to do that. But then she also had to be able to ride the line, because there's a lot of comedy and a lot of,
Right, yeah.
yeah. So there's some fights that are really serious and others that we're having more fun in. So she was able to do that, go back and forth, and then also hold her own in the Jason Patric scenes where, it's got to be serious and you've got to feel for her for a minute. And then going to dance with her bride or groom, at the end of the movie where the two of them are together and it's like they're having their wedding dance finally, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of things in there. So it was a challenge. So I think she was definitely the right person to do it. And I, couldn't imagine anybody else doing that role.
Well, what's next for you? in this movie. Of course, it's coming out in theaters and on demand. So, what's next for you in
Yeah.
this movie?
Right now, my main focus is focusing on this movie coming out and really spreading the word and hoping that everyone will enjoy it, see it, watch it, and tell everyone. I've got another film lined up that's coming up soon that I can't say a whole lot about other than it's based on a pretty famous novel. But I'd love to, for this movie to do great and then get to do a part two, to be honest. Like, I feel like
Yeah,
this.
that would be. Yeah, it could be a really fun franchise too. Yeah.
I think so, man. I like this world is fun to explore, and it's a fun movie, and I had a blast being able to make it. And yeah, I'd love to explore these characters more. So we'll see what else comes up, but I'm hoping that people like you will spread the word, and we can get this thing and the momentum going, because I'd love to make a part two and even make it bigger and more funnier and everything else.
Well, Timothy, thank you so much for joining us today at Infamous Horrors and Infamous Interviews. Congratulations on Till Death Do Us Part. And until next time.